This is Fido Friendly Travel Talk. Here's your host, Susan Sims.
Hey everybody, it's Susan Sims with Fido Friendly Travel Talk, brought to you by Animal Radio, where we talk about the travel and lifestyle for you and your furry best friend. My guest today is Brian Manni with Pup O'Clock. It's a different subscription box for both our pets and the humans who care for them. Hi Brian, welcome to the show.
Hi, Susan. Thanks for having me on.
It's my pleasure. So let's get to it. What makes Pup O'Clock different than other subscription boxes for our pets?
Great question. It's not just another toy or treat box would be the key. Pup O'Clock is a movement. It's finally a tool to keep families, particularly kids, engaged with their dogs. So what we have here in terms of our product is a monthly themed subscription box. And we incorporate education, enrichment, and entertainment in addition to the toys and treats that we spoke about before. Our educational content is created by our vet, Dr. Daisy, and then Tori Mystic creates our enrichment content. And then the entertainment component of our program is trading cards, comic strips, animated series called The League of Pups. So we want to make this wildly entertaining for the kids and families so that just by osmosis, they're going to learn to be kind of a common sense 101 dog person. So for example, I'll give you an example because the entertainment piece, the centerpiece of each of the themed boxes is a trading card as we're building out a Pokemon effect. And we're making this super interactive. We're using real dogs to illustrate through communities across the country. And again, those illustrations in our trading cards is going to be converted into our animated series called The League of Pups. So for example, our back to school box. Our back to school box, the centerpiece was a dog Blue that was rescued from the Animal Foundation in Las Vegas, which I did an event at. So I met Blue's parents, collaborated with them, and then we crafted the materials around the dog Blue. So we made it interactive with the community. And then the lessons would be crate training, separation anxiety, what to do with your dog before or after school, reading to your dog. So we're really big on our themes as we go on this adventure as putting them also as missions. So Deaf Awareness Month, Pit Bull Awareness Month, autism, gotcha days. Our goal is to really be a Kickstarter for kids to go out there and have that knowledge to be able to then want to go to the trainer, want to go to the vet, want to be like Dr. Daisy, want to be like Tori. So when you really look at the value is really way different than any other box. I mean, we're talking about adopting responsibility as kids. We're talking about helping parents, donating back to shelters, and improving the dog's life. I mean, we could go further. We're finding meaning. You know, the kids are off the phone and they're outside. They realize they're not the center of the universe anymore. So we're essentially creating better humans with the consistency and discipline this movement provides. So I would say that's what makes us different. It's vastly different. We're certainly in our own lane.
That is a whole lot of different. And because it's a learning aid and it's also a treat box, I have to ask you, did the inspiration come from your family?
It's interesting. So the inspiration, when I first thought about this, it did somewhat. My co-founder, my 13-year-old son, he grew up with a pug named Truman. And I will tell you, in reflection, seeing the relationship that they built sustained him through any issues in school, bullying, things of that nature, his homework, his family life, any issues that he had, that was the common denominator. He had his buddy. So that certainly had a play. But then it's tale as old as time. After 2 weeks, the shine wears off of the dog and the parents end up taking care of the dog. So we want to be an extension of the parents, take the onus off the parents, but also post-COVID, make an impact and lower those abandonment rates in shelters because everyone wanted a dog. Mm-hmm. So there's a lot of problems we're tackling, which is good. And kind of another positive motivator behind me personally was that I've been in recovery since 2023. So this business, in terms of accountability, responsibility, and positivity parallels kind of how I moved out of my addiction and into an exponentially better life. And I always joke, I say, everyone should do a 12-step program. It's just a good humility check and introspection check. So I say that because this movement provides the tool necessary to give kids an opportunity to adopt responsibility and meaning and find something greater than themselves.
Wow, congratulations on that's a huge effort. And I did want to say as well, this doesn't happen overnight. So for our listeners who maybe have an idea, talk to us about what the biggest hurdle you had to create the box and how long did it take from concept to out the door?
Well, it always takes longer and more money. That's table stakes for sure.
The
I
end.
started developing, yeah, I started developing this in the summer of 2022, actually under the title of My Wise Puppy Box. So I kind of developed this business plan, but it wasn't named Pup O'Clock until a year later. So developing summer of 2022, our first box didn't get shipped out until September of 24. But then we completely rebranded in March of 25. So we're still a baby. We're still making our way, and that's really, I would say, in terms of the biggest hurdle, it's a good thing. We're in our own lane, so we don't have any competition. But there's also no roadmap for us. So fine tuning what we can scale as we're developing something that never existed before has been the hurdle. Having to set certain expectations, extend time horizons, and then most importantly, the messaging. And Susan, you and I spoke about this earlier. There's so much to talk about that I couldn't do it justice in lazy paid Facebook ads. I really wanted to build relationships across the country through Instagram, through dog trainers, through veterinarians, through people that can provide me the feedback I need to execute this dream that doesn't exist.
Yeah.
So that's probably been the biggest hurdle. But again, that speaks to it's not a toy and treat box. And it's really invaluable because I don't know if you could put a price tag on building that bond with your dog and your kid and the value that has. And I could go on and on specifically from a special needs perspective and all kinds of things.
I'm sure. Yeah, there is just a reminder there are no shortcuts to success. You got to put in the work. And one of the things I want to touch upon is your website, pupoclock.com. You share that a portion of the proceeds are given to shelter pets. So, what can you tell us about that?
Yeah. Well, kind of what I was talking about before and those lazy paid Facebook ads. My goal from Jump Street was to go out and individually build a relationship with shelters across the country and build a mutually beneficial collaboration or ecosystem where we provide the tools that kids need in terms of the boxes. They can house them there, and then they can present them to good opportunities for any kind of adopters to kind of get this out there. But in addition to enhancing their brand by being able to give adopters this box, they're also getting for each purchase of a box $5 per box per month as long as the customer subscribed. So now all of a sudden, all of my constituents have a side hustle subscription business that pays them and it compounds over time. So 500 boxes go through Harps, a local shelter here in Pittsburgh, Harps Code. They have a passive $2,500 of income a month and growing. So we really want to make both that qualitative and quantitative benefit. I've been doing kids camps for shelters. We support galas for the shelters, auction free subscriptions. We donate toys, treats, reading materials is a big thing. In our boxes and our guides, there are those reading materials when I spoke about education, enrichment, and entertainment, where kids read those to dogs. And Susan, that's pretty much it. I know we're tight on time, but the shelter programs that we're building out, we're doing that also for dog trainers, for vets, and for anyone that is passionate about that.
It sounds wonderful, Brian. And I know from my point of view, when we get on and we start looking at YouTube, just because you want to take a break, there's nothing sweeter than kids reading to their dogs. So I can imagine a slurry of those types of videos eventually making their way to your website. But before I let you go, what else? Anything off the top of your head that you want our listeners to know, and direct them to the best place to find out more?
Yep. Best place to find out more is definitely at pupaclock _ on our Instagram or our website, pupaclock.com. What I want to reinforce is when you subscribe, everyone starts with their flagship box that sets the table for responsibility. You'll get that immediately. It'll have things in addition to toys and treats like chore charts, gotcha certificates, responsibility contracts. It really arms the kids to empower them. And then the subsequent theme boxes are a little bit different. They're more family focused, that incorporate recipes and lessons and things of that nature, always including the toys and treats, but really heavy lean towards enrichment product as we have a partnership with Soda Pop.
Oh, great. Yeah, we love Soda Pop. We've been a fan of theirs for a long time. So thanks, Brian, so much for taking the time to talk with me today. I really appreciate it.
Thank you so much, Susan. I appreciate it.
That's it for Fido Friendly Travel Talk. You have been listening to my guest, Brian Manni with Pup O'Clock, and that's pupoclock.com. For more information about today's show or just about traveling with Fido, log on to fidofriendly.com. Until next time, travel safe and leave no dog behind. This is Susan Sims with Fido Friendly Travel Talk.